Hertog Jan.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. Today, not a first, but a country I haven't reviewed a beer from in a long time, from the Netherlands. And this is the Hertog Jan, and that's Percy. Coming in, knob job, in you come. And we got a pair of them, Little Bob and Percy. There's going to be some ructions down there, or is there? Oh, and I've just noticed. Have a look at this, right? This is what having a fucking Jack Russell will do you. Well, I can't lift it up because it will probably... Hang on, can I? Oops, I could be fucking destroying the room here. But it's basically her biting into a fucking electricity cable. That dog is going to go fucking bang one of these days. Percy's sniffing his bollocks, and this is going to be another fucking disaster. Right, if you two act up, you're going out. Right, let's start again, shall we? Jan Hertog from the Netherlands. This apparently is a Pilsner, and it's from a brewery that dates back to 1915. Four mates got together and they decided to start brewing, and this was the result. And they are based in a place called, I think it's pronounced Aachen. There's probably Dutch people fucking in hysterics now laughing at me at that production. But fuck 'em. We ain't the ones who wear clogs. Anyway, what am I talking about? Where was I going with this? I have no fucking idea. Oh yeah, it's in a place called Aachen, which is in the eastern part of the Netherlands, right near the German border actually, and that's why my mate Norby has given this to me, because occasionally he drinks this and he reckons this is a really good beer. And he brought this over for me as part of all the other stuff that he's given me. I've never tried this one before. There is an alarm bell. This brewery is owned by ABInBev. They took this one over in 1995. These two are going to go out because they're going to start a fight in a minute. Oh, wait, and he's humping him now. I'm not going to show you it, but he's fucking humping him. Give me 2 minutes. Oh, fucking hell. If there's one thing that puts me off, it's two dogs fucking humping each other when I'm trying to review beer. Anyway, where were we? Right, this is named after Jan the First, or John the First. He was a ruler of the place called the Brabant, which I'm not going to go too much into history, but is, if you've ever heard me talking about the Flemish Brabant, the Walloon Brabant, that's where Belgian come from basically, and it was chopped up as a kind of a buffer state. If you look at the history of Belgium, it was to stop France and the Netherlands getting too powerful, and the powers that be, I think it was after the Spanish War of Succession in the 1700s, they decided to create this country, which has caused no end of problems. You have one part that speaks French, you have one part that speaks Flemish, and I've heard the two don't get on. But from the Belgian mates that I've got, I know people from both sides, and that's a myth. But apparently in political circles there's some animosity. I'm not going to get into that. Not interested. Don't know enough about it. Don't want to know enough about it. So there you go. What else can I say about this brewery? They were founded in 1915 by four mates who were good brewers apparently, and they decided to start up a brewery. During World War I, of course, Holland, or the Netherlands I should say, wasn't affected by the conflict of World War I. But they were affected during World War II. In 1944, they were shelled quite heavily, and as you may or may not know, the Allies advanced across the Netherlands to liberate it from the Germans, and the brewery did suffer. It was shelled extensively, but they managed, again, just like the Germans did, from the ashes, they managed to get the breweries back up and running, and it was producing beer shortly after. Now, there was another disaster, and that was in 2002, when it was flooded, would you believe? Now, if you know a little bit about the Netherlands, you know that a lot of that is reclaimed land. You know about the polders and stuff like that. It's basically, it's come from the sea. It's reclaimed land from the sea. And I do know one fella, I'm not sure, he occasionally is a bass player, very good bass player as well. He occasionally watches the channel. Jay, if you're watching, mate, how you doing? Loving the bass videos. I might not comment on them, but I do watch them. I'm loving the punk. He does punk covers as well. Very good. Just check him out. I'll put a link to his channel below. But he was saying that he's where he lives is 20 feet under sea level, so or below sea level, I should say. And obviously he doesn't live in the fucking sea, but there are parts of the Netherlands that are lower than sea level. And I do recall my boss actually saying that he was walking past, he was in Holland once, or I keep calling it Holland. Holland is a region of the Netherlands. Stop calling Holland the Netherlands. Stop calling that Holland. Holland is a region. The Netherlands is the country. So there you go. It's like calling Scotland Britain, or vice versa. I'm talking some absolute shit tonight. I don't know what's happened. I've only had one beer. Hobgoblin, very nice indeed. I cannot get over that fucking electric cable. I'll put a picture of it up and I'll show you. I'm not going to, it will uproot too many things. How that dog hasn't gone fucking bang, I do not know. How I haven't gone fucking bang, I don't know with these dogs. But there you go. I'm getting so fucking sidetracked. Anyway, let's stop getting in a fluster and let's have a fucking beer, shall we? Right, before we do, this is a 330ml. No, it's a 300ml, but I thought this was a small bottle. I thought it was a 300. It's 330. It's 300. Why do they do that? You tight bastards. Sort it out. It's 5.1%. And it's all in Flemish. I'm not even going to fucking attempt. My German's bad enough. My Flemish is fucking dire. But there you go. Traditional Naturtruvia beer. Says the fella who said he wasn't going to fucking try and pronounce it. I'm going to put a little wager on and say that there's rice in this. ABInBev love a bit of rice in their beer. They do it in their Belgian beers. I know that. The Jupiler, that's ABInBev. That's got rice in it. And yeah, I have a bit of a downer on rice in beer, I don't think. Certainly a European country. I can forgive the East Asian brewers putting rice in their beer. Obviously malt isn't as in abundance for brewing as it is in Europe. European brewers have got no excuse, in my opinion, and they just do it to save a few quid. The fucking shithouses. What do you expect from ABInBev though? Anyway, let's get it home. Let's see what's going on. Right, this is a Pilsner. Now, Pilsner can mean a few different things. If you taste a Belgian Pilsner, it's going to be completely different to a German Pilsner. German Pilsners can occasionally be different to Czech Pilsners. So Pilsner is a bit of a catch-all term. What I get from Pilsner, and I'm going to go by what the Czechs do because they invented the style. In fact, they invented all light-coloured bottom fermenting beer. So not Germany. So you have to take that into consideration as well. So I'm going to go with what that definition is. It's from the city of Pilsen, which is based in the Czech Republic. Pilsners should be light in colour or possibly amber, and they should have a distinctive hop spiciness to it and a bitter finish. Now, you can argue about the degrees of bitterness. You can go from the sort of standard Czech Pilsner bitterness, which is fairly moderate, bordering on quite strong. You can get the extremes from North Germany, such as Jever, which is really bitter, or you can get the Pilsners, some Pilsners from Bavaria, which are slightly more mellower, and then you get the Pilsners from the UK that are brewed by macro brewers such as Carlsberg, which taste like absolute fucking cat's piss. So there you go. That's my take on Pilsners. Let's get it open. Right, first time trying this, never had this beer before. There you go. I don't know how much it costs. You can get it over here on Beers of Europe. They even do it on Beer Hawk as well. Now I'm going to talk about this in a bit. Probably won't do it in this section, but Beerhawk do it on the Perfect Draft system. And a lot of people have asked me about Perfect Draft. If I remember, I'm going to talk about that in the last section when it comes to the Samurai. But not for now. I'm just going to go on aroma. And that's typical ABInBev. No aroma at all. I can't get anything from that at all. Oh, hang on. Really faint. Really faint sort of roasted malt. Slightly roasted malt, I should say. To be honest, there is a little bit of the roasted malt. It does remind me a little bit of Arsteiner. I am getting that kind of, I wouldn't say macro brewed, but it's difficult to describe that aroma. It's like there's a sweetness to it, and it's almost like a syrupy sweetness, but that's mild. But then there's like a roasted malt, roasted cereal type aroma from it too, and a little touch of possibly hop spice, but well, it could be anything really, couldn't it? But anyway, let's get it all. Oh no, let's not get it all to the glass. Let's try a little bit of it first. Bottoms up. I don't know what cheers is in Dutch, so, or Flemish, so fuck it. Fuck it, there's my take on it. Instantly forgettable. Really doesn't taste of much at all. No. Could be anything. Could be any macro brewed beer. That is just not doing much for me at all. Now, my mate Norby, he raves about this beer. He says it's the best Dutch beer that he's tried. And I'm imagining that he's had this on keg, and it's nice, coming from a keg, reasonably fresh. Where he's from is near the West German border, which obviously borders east of the Netherlands. So the beer from around there is going to be relatively fresh. But just seeing if I can get any more aroma from that. Let's dive in again. There is a very faint trace of lemon in this, and it tastes like lemonade. So I'm imagining that's some, I wouldn't say it's artificial, but I imagine that's some kind of sweetener they've put in there. It's combining with the lemon citrus that's in this. To me, this doesn't taste like a Pilsner at all. There's no bitterness on the aftertaste, no real hop character at all. It's just bland and boring, to be honest. No, not really impressed with this, to be honest. Now, I was just about to say, nice bottle, shame about the beer. This was actually this design was done by an English company, an English marketing company, a branding company. You know my views on that. And yeah, the beer does look nice. It looks quite distinguished. Look, I don't think I showed you the label, did I? There you go. It's got a picture of him, Jan the First. Apparently, a bit of a folk legend in the Netherlands and around that region. He was had a few battles that he won. He loved the beer, apparently. Loved to have a good time and a bit of a laugh. That is his supposed likeness on there. That was done by the marketing company. Yeah, you're not fooling anyone. Apart from La Trappe, I'll go out on a limb here and say I've not really tasted much beer from the Netherlands that has bowled me over, to be honest. The Trap are good though, but they're a Trappist brewer. I mean, that's on another level. ABInBev though, I'm not going to judge Dutch beer on the macro brewed stuff, but Heineken, Grolsch, nah. What's the other stuff? Is it OB? Remember that stuff? Christ. Some of the contract brewed stuff as well. M&S Lager. That was actually, they did a Belgian lager. It's actually brewed in the Netherlands, believe it or not. Oh, I'm not really impressed with this at all, to be honest. It could be anything. It's just bland, boring, characterless, soulless. Yeah, I mean, it's not repulsive. It just lacks character, and I would question why. Well, anybody from that region, certainly in the Netherlands, I'm sure you can get some beer from Germany in that region as well, because it's more or less on the border. And there must be some good German beer available, because if this is all your... and again, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say they were probably an half-decent brewer until ABInBev got hold of them, and then you know what happens when macro brewers get hold of breweries. I'm saying that, I've just tried Hobgoblin, and it actually wasn't bad. I don't know, this has been a weird fucking day for me. This is my second beer. I've had the Hobgoblin. I fucking can't pronounce that word. Got to fucking stop that. I'll take one last mouthful and get this over with, because, to be honest, I'm treading water here. I'm just talking about everything but the beer. What does that tell you? It tastes vaguely like lager. Characterless, soulless, typical ABInBev fare. So, what is the verdict on Hertog Jan? Well, I saw this when my mate normally gave it to me, and he said, oh, this is a really special one. And maybe it is if you're drinking it nearer the source. I sort of looked at it and thought maybe it's a bit special. I didn't realise it was Dutch. And what got the alarm bells ringing was Beerhawk, you know, the online web retailer for alcohol. They do a perfect draft keg, and this was their keg of choice. And I thought, fuck me, if they're doing that and they're selling 6 litre kegs of it, this isn't that special, despite the marketing bod's best efforts to make it look distinguished. And to be fair, it does look like half a decent beer from the label, but never judge a beer by the label. Now, I've looked at the Beerhawk website at their perfect draft offering of that Hertog Jan, and some people in the comments, I wouldn't say regularly, but now and again I've had a few comments, what do you think of the perfect draft and them other beer machines that you get from home? Have you got one? Can you do a review of one? The answer is no, no and no, because personally I think they're a rip-off. Now, if you've got one, that's your choice. And if it tastes good, then that's fine. I have no problem with that at all. But I think when I look at the price of the kegs, for what they are, I think they're a little bit of a rip-off, right? Now, I did some maths, which is fucking unusual for me, because I did have number dyslexia when I was a kid. I'm sure I did. Maths, I just didn't get it, right? But I looked at the price of the Hertog Jan 6 litre keg, which is available for the perfect draft from Beerhawk, right? With postage, that will cost you, I've got it written down here because I'm fucking useless. You see what my memory's like. That will cost you 36 knicker, basically, which is 36 quid and 40p on top, right? And that is including the postage and the packing, right? Because you've got to pay that if you're going to get it from Beerhawk, right? Now, it's got 6 litres in there, right? So if you work it out, a litre is roughly, I mean, there are little bits of overhead on there, but it's about 1.2 pints. That's what you get. All right. So if you do the maths, a pint works out just over £3, and there's some wastage on that as well, because obviously when you have to pull it through the pipes and stuff, and you've got the bit left at the bottom as well, which is, you know, undrinkable. It's basically froth. So there's some wastage there. So I'm going to round that up to working out to about £3.5, possibly £3.10 a pint. Now I think to do that, I mean, I'm looking at the price of beer at the moment, and forget London, that's fucking lost. Forget it. That's nearly £7 a pint there now. It's a fucking piss take. How these pubs survive, I do not know. And I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for the honest landlords in London now who're competing with pubs that are charging £7 a pint, and people are fucking paying it. Jesus, we are getting fucking ripped off in this country. But that's another video. Personally, I think that's a little bit too much to pay. I'd rather buy the bottles, to be honest. At least I know I'm going to get everything out of that bottle, and I'm going to drink it, and there's going to be minimal wastage. With them perfect draft machines, I mean, is it that much better? I don't really think so. Not for that money. And at the end of the day, we're all fucking skint in this day and age. You know, we're all struggling. Certainly in the UK, you know, there's all these fucking conservative. Oh, I'm going to start off with a political rant now. Why? How's my channel turned all this political? Well, it's about the cost of living. And, you know, if you can't have a fucking bottle of beer when you come home from an hard day's work, then what can you fucking do? But there you go. I'm going to ease off the political rants. I don't want to get into that. You know my views on the Conservative Party. I think they're a shower of fucking cunts. I think the Labour Party are not that much better. I said I was going to stop doing this, but yeah, it looks like these fuckers, what have they done to me? No, let's stop. Let's not fucking go into politics, because that's what ruins channels. I've seen it happen on a couple of channels before. Some deserved, some not. So let's fucking steer out of that cul-de-sac. This beer is instantly forgettable. I would give it a 5 out of 10. It's not massively unpleasant. It's not offensive, but it really lacks character. Doesn't do anything. If it was on a hot day and this was freezing cold out of the fridge, I'd drink it. And that would be the only reason. I would never go out of my way to buy this again. If it was a choice between this and Carlsberg, I would probably go and fucking... Well, I probably might drink that, but if there was ice cold soda water and lime, I'd probably go that and say, fuck it, I'm not having a beer. But there you go. That's just me. So I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. Not really recommended, to be honest. You know, if you want to buy your perfect draft off of Beer Hawk for that, and you want to pay £3 odd, and you know, work out the wastage and all. I've seen a little Welsh fella doing reviews of the perfect draft stuff and all that. It's not going to happen on this channel. I just don't see the point. I think there's too many good beers that you can't get on a perfect draft, and I want to get that message over to you rather than fucking wanking off about how great a perfect draft machine is. Some people can't afford that. Them perfect draft machines are not fucking cheap. So there you go. Just buy bottles. You're not governed by the kegs that they sell on perfect draft. Don't get me wrong, there are some good ones. You can get Budvar. I think Spartan do one as well. You know, and I'm not saying don't buy them. If you've got the money and you want to have like what is potentially a pub experience in your own home, that's fair enough. But it's only going to be you drinking it, because if your mates come round, that's going to be a very fucking expensive night, and you will not be buying rounds. You will be buying beer for everyone. So there you go. I'd rather just not. I'm a tight bastard. It's just not everyone is fucking flush at the moment, and the money that I have got, I will spend on beer, and I will spend on improving the studio. But there you go. Rant over. 5 out of 10. Not really recommended. And remember, beer is working class champagne.